Good morning to one and all. Welcome back to Online Education by BMC. This is Vaijayanti Patil from Turve MPS. Today we are going to deal with the last topic of Introduction to Biotechnology. Before that, just quickly recap what we have studied in our last class. We have studied about the plant tissues. In that, permanent tissues, which are of two types. Simple tissues, which are again of three subtypes. First is parenchyma, which are the simple cells arranged compactly or close to each other in a single layer. They are with thin cell wall. The second is collenchyma, which are slightly thick-celled cells with the deposition of cellulose on its margin. They are also compactly arranged and are called as living tissue. Third is sclerenchyma, which have elongated spindle-shaped cells. They are also called as dead cells or dead tissue. Cell walls are thickened with the deposition of lignin. They function in providing rigidity and support to the plant or the plant tissues. The second subtype that we have studied was the complex tissue, which are composed of more than two different types of tissues, in which first was xylem, which is also known as conducting tissue. Xylem is composed of four different types of tissues, which are vessels, tracheids, xylem parenchyma, and xylem sclerenchyma. Main function of xylem is to conduct water and minerals from the lower part to the upper part, that is in the upward direction. The second complex tissue was phloem, which is composed of four different types of cell types. First is vessels, sieve tube element, companion cell, phloem parenchyma, and phloem sclerenchyma. Again, phloem is also a conductive tissue, but it conducts the nutrients from the upper part of the plant in all the direction. Whatever is prepared by the process of photosynthesis is conducted by phloem tissue in all the different directions to different parts of the plant. Today, we are going to deal with biotechnology. Now, what is biotechnology? Bio means living. When we connect technology to the living world, it is called biotechnology. In this, we use living organism or a part of living organism to produce either food, drugs, to solve the real world problem. That is to develop different kind of medicines, like say for example, vaccine. Now we all are getting co-vaccine for coronavirus, right? So that is also generated by the process of biotechnology. So using a part of living organism or the entire organism for solving the real world problem is called as biotechnology. With this technique, it is possible to produce plants and animals that bear new characteristics or some additional characteristic to the naturally occurring characteristics of that organism. So the entire genome of the organism is modified by the process of biotechnology to develop the desired character in the given organism. Coming to the history of biotechnology, it is very old process which has been used from centuries back. Even before 8000 BC. It included collecting of seeds, replanting them, selective breeding of different animals to produce improved variety of animals, or to produce improved variety of crop plants, using lactic acid bacteria for production of yogurt, what we called as dahi, or for production of cheese, then using fermentation processes for brewing or wine making. These all are part of biotechnology, which are very, very old techniques. Recently, this term biotechnology was coined by Karl Ehrlich, who was an engineer from Hungary, hence also known as Hungarian engineer. He coined the term biotechnology in year 1919. Traditional biotechnology has used for thousands of years to produce improved food and also health products. Today, modern biotechnology enables us to develop improved product more safely and more rapidly. See now, our population has also increased manifold. So we need to carry out the production of various goods in small space, because we have constraint of space, in small space and even in short period of time. This is possible only because of biotechnology, because biotechnology, whatever we are producing, it is produced in a lab, in a controlled environment. So whatever is produced is produced in sterile condition, so they are infection free, as well as it is produced in the less space that is provided in the lab within a limited period of time. Now, how this biotechnology emerged? The scientists observed that some cells of our body are capable of dividing, and they can differentiate into different tissue types. Means one single cell can produce all the different types of tissues like nerve cells, blood cells, liver cells, muscle cells. So that basic cells which can produce or give rise to so many different types of cells or the tissue, they are known as stem cells. Okay. And the other term used for this is totipotent. Totipotent meaning the cells are capable of dividing and differentiating into different cell types if a proper environment is provided to them. It was realized that with the help of this property of the cell and their genetically controlled biochemical processes, varieties of high yielding crops, new species of animals, and various vaccines could be produced. This thought gave rise to a new branch in biology that we call as biotechnology. I hope you all have understood what is totipotent. The cells which are capable of dividing and differentiating into different cell types. One single cell, that is stem cell, capable of forming nerve cell, blood cell, liver cell, muscle cell. We all know that life begins with a single cell. After the process of fertilization, the single cell keeps on dividing and dividing, redividing, and forming entire body of the organism with all the organs in it. Okay, so those cells which are capable of dividing and getting differentiated into different cell types or the tissues are known as totipotent cell. And this characteristics of the cell has helped or given rise to a new technology, to a new branch in biology, what we called as biotechnology. Now, have you ever imagined or seen a single plant producing 40 different varieties of fruits? A single plant bearing different varieties of fruit, or a plant with all the different types of flowers in it? Yes, it is possible because of the technique called biotechnology. Today we are going to learn about this. The technique of bringing about improvement in living organism by artificial genetic changes and by hybridization for welfare of human beings are together called as biotechnology. Main stress is given on artificial genetic changes. Okay, now how these changes are done, we are going to learn in the further slides. There are basically two techniques involved in biotechnology. First is genetic engineering, where the genetic material of the organism is changed. Now, how it is done, that we will be seeing. We all know genetic information or the genetic material is present on the DNA and the RNA of the organism. So if we need to add some new character in the organism, or if we want to remove the defective character of the organism, it is all possible by the process of genetic engineering. And the second technique is tissue culture, where a totipotent tissue is used to develop an entire living organism in a laboratory setup. For example, you almost have heard about test tube babies. Okay, the fertilized ova is transferred in the nutrient medium to develop an entire organism in the lab setup. That is called tissue culture. Let us see this one by one. First, genetic engineering. See, this is excellent gift that gives you an idea about the genetic engineering. Lot of chemicals are involved in this. Those chemicals are known as molecular scissors. For each gene, there are particular type of molecular scissors. These molecular scissors will cut the specific part of DNA that is what we require. Okay, so first step in genetic engineering is to identify which gene we need to cut. After identification, cutting that desired gene using the chemicals that are known as molecular scissors. Now, after cutting it with the molecular scissor, we get that separated desired gene. This separated desired gene is then transferred into other organism. Usually, a bacteria called E. coli, that is Escherichia coli, is used for transfer of such genes. Once the desired gene is transferred, it is transported into the, or it is transferred into the nutrient media. Now, what is nutrient media? It is a kind of solid, liquid, or jelly-like substance which contains all the nutrients that are required for growth and development of the particular cell. Okay, so that organism is then transferred into the nutrient media. They are grown within the lab setup in sterile conditions, and then a new organism is obtained, which is then transferred into the environment. Okay, now see, in this GIF, you can see the gene is cut and it was introduced into the plasmid DNA, which then expressed into the particular protein. If we sort an example over here, say for example, insulin. All the diabetic patients who are treated with insulin, they needed insulin. In the olden days, the insulin was extracted from the pig or the calf. But nowadays, insulin is produced by the process of biotechnology by introducing human insulin producing gene into the E. coli bacteria. They are multiplied, and this modified bacteria can now produce the human insulin, which is used to treat the diabetic patients. Next technique is tissue culture. Now let us see the steps involved in tissue culture. In our last class, we have studied about the apical meristem or the meristematic tissues in the plants. Those meristematic tissues, we know the characteristics of meristematic tissue. They are capable of dividing and differentiating into different cell types. This cell or the tissue is collected, the cells are separated, and then they are transferred into the nutrient media. Okay, this is called as ex vivo growth, that is in the test tube or in the Petri plate within the experimental setup. The cells are provided a proper nutrient media and a proper environment in which they can grow and develop different tissues. Like in this case, the cell will divide and develop the root, shoot, leaves, all the organs of the plant. This is called as tissue culture, a modern technique related to farming and gardening, that is ex vivo growth of cells or tissues in an aseptic and nutrient rich medium, is called tissue culture. Nowadays, a complete organism can be developed from a single cell or from tissue with the help of tissue culture technique. Now, where is this used? See, when the person have burns, to treat that burn part, if a person want to go for skin transplant, the skin is produced within the lab by the process of tissue culture technique, and then the plastic surgery is carried out to replace the burned skin with the fresh skin. For this, different types of nutrient media are used, which may be liquid, solid, or gel-like, which is usually prepared with the help of agar. This agar is obtained from the algae from the oceans, and it is used as a nutrient medium. Now, the person behind this tissue culture technique is Sir Frederick Champion Stewart, who was a British botanist. He had shown that cells and tissues can be grown ex vivo. For this, he used carrot roots and cultured them in a nutrient medium. He also proved that each cell has the ability to produce a new plant. Now, this is what even you can try out at your home. Now, there is a season of carrot. So, just bring a carrot, the upper part of the carrot that we usually throw up. If you put it simply in the water, it will develop the leaves or the shoots on the upper side. Okay, you can just try it at home. Or even if you plant it in the soil, it will give rise to a root system and a shoot system. So that was what a meristematic tissue can be used for developing an entire living organism. Various processes of tissue culture. Now, this is very important. This is usually asked in exam to label the steps involved in tissue culture technique. The first step is to select the source plant. Source of what? It is a source of the totipotent tissue or a source of meristematic tissue. So, a meristematic tissue is obtained from the source plant. It is cut into smaller pieces, given the primary treatment, that is, it is transferred in the nutrient medium under the sterile conditions, which is then allowed to grow. The cells within the nutrient media multiply and redivide and differentiate into different tissues and organs of the plant, finally developing the root system and the shoot system of the plant. These are now known as plantlets. These plantlets are transferred into the soil for primary hardening. Primary hardening is carried out within this setup. Once they grow to a particular height, these plants are then transferred into the pots and finally into the fields for getting the production. Now, this takes very short period of time as compared to growing into the natural habitat. Now, what are the uses of biotechnology? It is used for production of cash crops. Now, what are cash crops? The crops through which a farmer can gain a good income. They are known as cash crops. For example, sugarcane, jute, cotton, all these are the cash crops. Improvement in the varieties of these cash crops increase the ability of plant to withstand the environmental stresses. What are environmental stresses? See, the climate changes anytime. It might rain, some part of the country might receive very less rain, so there are drought conditions. Sometimes there are floods. Sometimes the heat is very high. So withstanding or facing all these environmental stresses, plants are made capable to withstand all these environmental stresses using biotechnology. Next, vaccine production. This, so you should all remember, all the vaccines that we are getting nowadays, these are produced by biotechnology. And as recently you all are getting vaccinated, so please remember this, that biotechnology is used for vaccine production. Then early diagnosis of congenital diseases. Now, congenital diseases means the diseases which are transferred from one generation to the other generation. These are genetical defects. This can be identified before the birth of the child so that a healthy child can be born. Next is organ transplant. As I've gave you the example of skin transplant, okay, or the plastic surgery where the defected skin is replaced by a new fresh skin. Even liver transplant is carried out. Okay, so in case of organ transplant also biotechnology is used. Biotechnology is also used for cancer research and treatment to study different types of cancers. The new organisms are new animals are developed by introducing the cancerous gene into it, and various experiments are carried out on them by treating them with various kinds of medicines before given the human trials. All the trials are done on the animals, so for that purpose also genetically modified animals are produced by the use of biotechnology. Production of artificial skin, cartilage, etc. is also done in laboratories by using biotechnology. Changes in agricultural management due to biotechnology. Lot of changes are coming up in the agricultural management because of biotechnology. The plants that are modified using biotechnology, they are also called as genetically modified crops or GM crops. GM crops are being produced by introducing changes in the DNA of natural crops. Normally, such varieties are not found in nature. Different useful characteristics are introduced in such varieties. For example, you can see different types of fruits having different colors and textures and also providing extra nutrients as compared to the natural ones. Golden rice is one of the genetically modified crop. This is a normal rice which generally gives us only carbohydrate, but a genetically modified golden rice provides carbohydrate. Beside that, it also provides a vitamin A precursor, okay, because of which vitamin A can be synthesized within our body. Then shelf life of certain vegetables can also be improved by genetic modification so that they can be stored for longer period of time. Hence, genetically modified crops are used to improve nutritive value and to decrease loss of crops. Second is crop to withstand environmental stresses. As I have told you, environmental stresses are the conditions like droughts, floods, or rains. So developing such plant which can bear all these conditions is possible because of biotechnology. Genetically modified crops are capable of facing all such adverse conditions. So developing such crops will help us to solve the crisis of food problem, because lot of crops are being wasted because of sudden climate change. Hence, biotechnologically developed plants which can withstand the environmental stresses are very, very helpful. Next is pest resistant crops. Now first, what are pests? Pests are the organisms which damages the crops. For example, there are the insects which feed on the crops and they destroy the entire crop if they attack the field in larger quantities. So, whichever organism that affects the crop production, they are called as pest. Initially, pesticides, which are the chemicals that are sprayed on the crops so that the plants can be protected from the pest, were sprayed. But this chemical have side effects. The farmer that are spraying the pesticides or the fertilizers, they are facing different health issues, like development of cancer has become common. Beside that, spraying these fertilizer chemicals also destroys the land quality, and those chemicals get into the food chain. So there are lots of side effects of spraying the chemical pesticides or the fertilizers. So if by using biotechnology, some crops are developed which are pest resistance. Okay. Now what is done in this? There is a gene called as NIF gene. It is introduced in a cotton plant. Okay. Now this modified cotton plant is also known as BT cotton, biotech cotton or BT cotton. As the gene, NIF gene is introduced in this cotton variety, if these insects eat the buds of this cotton plant, as soon as it enters into the stomach of the insect, a poisonous substance is generated which will kill the pest. Now, because of this, the pest will die as it attacks the plant. Second, the farmer do not need to invest on the chemical pesticides, so his money is saved over there. And now as the crops are pest resistant, a good production is achieved by the farm. So these genetically modified crops are very, very helpful for the farmers. Next is application of biotechnology in floriculture, nurseries, and forestries. Now, what is floriculture? Flori means flowers. Growing flowers in the farmland is called as floriculture. Nurseries, where the plantlets are produced. Okay, whatever we buy from the nursery walas for plantation in our house, they are known as nurseries. And forestry is developing the trees which are essential for wood, timber plants, okay, like teak, sesame, sandalwood. These are the, or the nilgiri plants. These are the big plants which are planted to develop the forest areas. Okay. So biotechnology is also used in all these three fields. Because of biotechnology, large-scale production of desired varieties of different plant is possible. Tissue culture can be used to grow those plants on large scale which bears flowers and fruits of excellent qualities. Fully grown plants can be produced in shorter duration of time. Plants can be grown on a large scale, even if means of pollination or germinating seeds are not available. See, in tissue culture, we just take the meristematic tissue. So seeds are not needed. Even if seeds are not available, we can still carry out the plant production. Without pollination, seed formation does not take place. But as in tissue culture, we do not need the seed. Pollination is also not needed. So even if pollination does not take place or there are no germinating seeds, we can carry out the plant production. Now, this is possible in the plants which are sterile. No, most of the orchids, they are sterile. They usually do not get pollinated. Okay. So for getting the production of such flowers, biotechnology is very, very helpful. See, this is the lab setup where all the researchers are working within the sterile environment and developing various plants with desired quality and desired traits. Without seed, the tissues are transferred into the nutrient medium where they multiply, divide, redivide to form the tissues of the plant and finally developing into a entire plantlet. Within a lab setup, large number of seedlings or the plantlets can be produced within a short time using minimum resources and materials. Next is biotechnology helps in production of disease-free plants. As I said, with the help of genetic modification, the disease-causing genes can be eradicated by transferring the new genes, and as the production of the tissue culture plants takes place in the sterile condition, diseases are eliminated in the plants. Usually, plants produced by tissue culture and genetic modification techniques are disease-free. Plantlet produced by tissue culture of meristematic tissues are virus-free. Embryos formed by conventional hybridization technique between two or more varieties may not grow fully for some reasons. However, embryos produced by the tissue culture technique always complete their growth, as the root and shoot systems are already well developed within the disease-free conditions. This embryos surely gives the result rather than the naturally grown plants. Biotechnology is also used for protection of rare and endangered species. Now, first, what are endangered species? The organism whose number is getting lowered. Means first they were present in lakhs or thousands, but now they are present only in hundreds. Those organisms which are on the verge of extinction, that is, if protection is not provided to those animals or plants, they will get extinct as the dinosaurs have extinct. These organisms will also get extinct. Such organisms are called as endangered organisms or the rare organism. Rare meaning which can be spotted only once in a while. Okay. They are not seen usually in the environment. We found them very rarely. So protecting such plants or animals is possible if we get the meristematic tissue of those organisms with the help of tissue culture technique. those organisms or those plants can be grown in the laboratory setup, and their number can be increased or they can be protected. So just quickly recap what we have learned today. We have studied about a new branch of biology, that is biotechnology, in which we use a part of organism or the entire organism for well-being of human beings. Okay, they can be used for production of vaccines or for modification of the crop plants. We have studied about the two techniques that are used in biotechnology. First was genetic engineering, in which the genetic makeup of the organism is changed by altering the genes in them, and we get an entire organism with some new trait. For example, we have seen about the plants that are like the golden rice, which is capable of giving us vitamin A along with the carbohydrate. So one extra characteristic is included into it. Or the genetically modified cotton variety, that is BT cotton, which is capable of killing the pest without spraying of pesticide. So this is how genetic engineering is used for benefit of human beings. The second technique that we studied was the tissue culture technique, in which by using the meristematic tissue of the plant or the animal, entire tissue or the entire organism can be developed within the laboratory setup by providing them proper environment and proper nutrients. The best example for this is test tube babies, okay, where they are used. Now this tissue culture technique is used for production of disease free plant, for production of the plants which are rare or endangered, that is for conservation of the rare endangered species. Genetic engineering is used for production of pest resistant plants, production of plants which are capable of withstanding the environmental stress with the help of biotechnology within the short period of time and less space, ample Thank you of you for listening to the lecture quietly. If in case you have any doubt, sir,